Alrighty. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to the studio this evening. And thank you for joining me when we're going to be painting. We're going to be painting a pufferfish. And I think my camera up here is not working. It should be working, and I don't like that. So I'm gonna work to fix that. I just want to say thanks for everybody for stopping by. We might have just a moment where we have to reset something. There we go. We're back. Okay. I don't know what was going on. Well, I do. I know exactly what was going on there. Once again, I came out to the studio this evening to set up for the show, and I got an indication that there's an update available. Do you want to do the update? Yeah, I would love to do the update. And of course, as soon as I do the update, things get all wonky. All right, so we're going to be painting this pufferfish. I've drawn it here. Dory is here with us. Let's put Dory on this side. There's the pufferfish that I'm going to attempt to recreate or do my version of it. I've got a sheet of Bao Hong watercolor paper, a couple of marks on it that I'm not happy about. Not sure where I got those, but we're going to be doing that. The paints that I have over here on my right hand side, these are my Emgram paints, and for the most part I'm going to be using my King Art brushes. There's one you can see, the 9020 series. Dwayne is here. Welcome, Dwayne. I don't know who else is here. We're going both on YouTube and on Twitch. So wherever you are, wherever you're tuning in from, thanks for joining. And I'm going to dig right in. So let's talk about a couple of things first, right? I said I'm going to dig right in, and then I'm going to quickly stop. So when I look at this fish, I see basically 4 distinct colors, right? The fins are one color. Oh my Lord, I didn't draw a fin down here. How did I not do that? I need to grab a pencil so I can draw that. I'll get to that in a second. How did I miss a whole fin down here? So we got the fins. And then if you look at the picture, and I'll make the picture bigger in a second, and you can see it. It's got a band up here that's really quite yellow. It's a warm yellow. Then there's a band in the middle that's kind of a bit brownish or a bit muddied yellow. And then there's a band on the bottom that has a lot more green into it, kind of a chartreusey color down there. So let you see this reference photo, and I'm going to grab a pencil so we can draw a fin on the bottom of this thing. So there's the reference photo, and you can see what I'm talking about with the bands of color that are on this fish. And now if you come back to me a little bit, we can really quickly, let's see, this fin starts right about the same spot that fin up there starts. And I'm looking at it here. It's really not much of a fin. That's probably all of it right there. It's not much. It's just a little bit. I'm going to keep my pencil handy just in case we need to use that. Okay. The fin really does blend in with the broken background back there. That mottled background, it does. Honestly, I've looked at that picture. I bet I've looked at that picture for an hour going, okay, do I have everything? Here's my drawing. How do I want to approach the painting? And I never noticed that fit. All right. Anyways, here we go. I'm going to get a cloth. I'm going to do a little clean on my palette. Just get some of my old colors off of there. And Dwayne, you've been busy painting this past week, I see. You posted something to Discord. You've been doing some vegetables. Oh, no, I guess a watermelon. Is a watermelon a fruit or a vegetable? Some recent harvest. Let's say it that way. I'm not sure if it's a fruit or a vegetable. Oh, you know what would be a good thing to use this? Trying. There you go. I bet we could sneak in a little bit of this green gold into here. And that would really add a nice pop to this color. And this green gold it's azo gold in the M. Graham world. It's green gold in the Daniel Smith world and others. But it's really a fantastic color, and it really does add a pop of brightness to whatever you're doing. And I'm going to put on a basic layer of color. I'm going to start with that, and then we'll see how it goes after that. I want more of this green gold at the top, and maybe just a little bit more straight yellow at the bottom of this. And we're going to go with that. So I was speaking with my wife earlier this evening, and she's like, "Well, what are you painting today?" And I'm like, "Oh, I'm painting a puffer fish." She's like, "Oh, you're never gonna finish that in an hour." I try to set an hour as the time, knowing that hour's not going to take me an hour. That hour will be an hour and a half, and hoping that hour and a half doesn't go into 2 or more hours. I want to be respectful of everybody else's time. But she was thinking, I'm going to be painting a puffer fish that's all puffed up and things sticking out the sides and everything like that. I'm like, no, I can't do that. I will be there all night with that. I'm painting over the spots. The spots don't much matter here, right? The spots are going to be much darker, and they're going to be, basically black, or a dark anyways. But what I do want to do is paint around these fins. I want to accentuate these fins. It will very likely make it look less realistic, and I'm kind of okay with that. Because we can make it look interesting. Dory, can you get away, Dory? Dory's hanging out on my page as I'm trying to turn it. And let's see. I don't know what else to talk about. I feel like I just said this. I'm currently on a vacation day today. I've got a lot of time to take off at work, and I decided to take a few days. I have so many hours stacked up. I've been working at the same company for a long, long time. I have all these hours, vacation hours stacked up, and I earn them quite quickly. If I don't use them, and then I'm gonna lose them by the end of the year, and I certainly don't want to lose them. So I've decided I'm just going to take them in groups of 2s or 3s here and there, and see how it goes. So today is a day I got to take a little day off from work, or another day off from work. I know this will surprise everybody. I spent part of the day fishing a little bit. It was kind of fun. Had a great time out there doing a little bit of fishing, and then I still did drive into work. My team had a little lunch today, and they asked me if I would come back and have lunch with everybody, and I said of course I'd be happy to. So even though I did have the day off, I ended up driving back into work to have a lunch with everybody. All right, here's the base of my fish. Everything we're going to do from here is going to build off of that. Right? Greener on the bottom, more vibrant on the top, like maybe some more of that green gold up there, and then a little band of this mottled color right in the middle. And then the fins there, right? The fins have this weird purpley color to them, so we're going to do a really soft purplish color with those, and we'll see how that goes. I think it's going to work pretty well. I'm going to let this dry before I can do too much with it. I think I've got a bigger brush. We can maybe prep for some of the background behind here. Dwayne, what have you been up to? Anything other than doing that painting that you posted over on Discord? What's been keeping you busy? This is and mark this time. This is Michael, not completely talking the whole time, actually asking a question or two. It's not always about me talking and talking and talking, but I do want to say we do need to figure out a background for this. Not too much stuff, a lot of stuff around the house. I totally get that. I've got a lot of stuff around the house to do. I can't do all of it at the moment. Got a hair stuck on my palette here. I'll get that off. I can't do it at the moment because a lot of it involves green waste, and I can only do 1 bucket worth of green waste a week, and then I'm forced to stop trying to squeeze in painting or drawing. I get that. I've said I'm going to do some additional Twitch streams last week, and then time totally got away from me, and I didn't get to it. So I totally understand that. Time gets away from you very quickly through no fault of anybody's, right? It's just, that's part of life, seemingly, and time just flies away. Okay, I'm going to paint a mix of, let's do a mix of blue, maybe a little bit of this brown, but some neutral tint for background here. Actually, before I do this, I'm going to need to wet quite a bit of this. And there's still a little bit of that color on my brush. I'm okay with that. I want this to go on super light anyways. I want the blue because it's kind of underwater, right? And I don't have to do exactly what the reference photo shows there, which is a bit greener. Greens and browns behind it. I don't need to do that, but I do want to have something on here that denotes it's in water, and it is a complementary color to the body of this fish that's really going to help it stand out a little bit. So that's going to be something in the purplish range. So I want to make sure we have something that's, leaning a little more purplish. That's where that neutral tint comes in. There's quite a bit of purple in that neutral tint. Will probably give us just enough of this purplish color. And again, I feel like I'm painting at 1,000,000 miles an hour here, so if somebody wants me to slow down, or somebody wants me to explain something, or somebody wants me just to take a breath, just let me know. I'm happy to slow down a moment. I should also say, without a lot of ventilation here in the garage, in the studio, it's quite warm in here. And I've got a green screen right behind me. which is doing a great job of blocking my fan. And I'm not exactly certain how it's gotten to be so warm in here. I mean, I know how it happens. The sun is shining down and heats the garage roof. But it's 65 outside. It's 65 outside, and it's literally when I looked at the clock at 5 o'clock as I was setting up, it said it was 83. Or when I looked at the thermometer, it said it was 83 in the studio. So if I step outside, I'm going to need to put a sweatshirt on. But as long as I'm in the studio here, I am sweating bullets, and I'm going to have to get something to drink. All right, there we go. That's a bit of our background. It's a bit of our background here. Still, some of it's nice and wet. Well, I'm gonna let it dry. I'm gonna let it dry. I was gonna do some playing with it, but I'm gonna let it dry. We'll add to it, and it's just kind of an amorphous, bluish, grayish background right now. We'll add some more stuff to it and make that look better. 65. Wow. We haven't had our summer yet, Dwayne. It just hasn't warmed up yet. Now, my town doesn't get overly warm in the summer. Traditionally, we will have some times where we get into we'll dip into the low 80s. But if we hit the upper 70s, 75 or above, most of the summer, it's crazy. It's crazy hot. we don't know how to deal with it. Yes, I know that makes it seem a little odd. The rest of the country is sweltering under a heat dome, and we can't even hit 70 here, or we don't normally even hit 70. But that's what happens here. The next couple of towns inland, they'll get up to, I don't know, they'll get plenty of warm. They'll get up to 100, mid 80s, low 90s, hundreds sometimes. They don't have any problems with heat. But we here this close to the ocean, we don't get any of it, and it just stays cool. In fact, the hotter it gets inland, the cooler it normally gets here, because it pulls a layer of fog in off the water, and that fog, obviously just keeps us nice and cool. Okay, I'm going to turn this over. Is this dry? It's probably going to dry pretty quickly, and I want to start layering on just a little bit of this green here. And this seems pretty bright, but it might be okay. It's a pretty bright color on this fish, and I just went into the water there, and I don't want to do that. I think we're going to be okay. What I'm hoping to do is get this greenish color on here, get this settled on here, and then we'll come back and we'll put some real shadowing underneath the bottom of this, right? Once we get this on, then we'll start to really define the layering on this fish. It's a little trickier than it looks on first pass. Right, there's a little bit more to this fish. When I first looked at it, I was like, oh, okay, cool. It's a yellow-ish fish. There's not going to be much to do with it, but the more I look at it, the more there's little bits and things here on this fish that make it interesting. There we go. I think that is pretty good here. Just a layer of that nice green on there. our second go around. I've just gotten over the edge there. I want to pull that up ever so slightly. Right, and if I pull up the reference photo, you can see, right, my green seems bright, but if I put that up, you can see there's a definite green tint on that fish, a definite green tint there. So mine's kind of right in line with it. Mine's right there. It's not too different. Okay, and now I've got everything. This is damp. That's damp. I got to figure out what I'm doing here. I'm gonna make my own really light purple up here. I'm not gonna rely on the purple like we did before. Uncle 60 is here. Hey, hello, Uncle 60. Glad to see you again. Let's see. I'm gonna use quinacridone. I'm sorry. I'm using alizarin crimson, and I'm gonna throw some phthalo blue into it, and that's gonna make my purple. I know that happens to make a lovely purple, and that purple is gonna be the basis of the fins on this fish. That's going to be the basis of the fins. And let's see. We just can put a little bit of color on here. And what I'm hoping is that we'll be able to put this on. It's going to be just different from the background. Right? It's more red than the background. So it's going to be different there. But then we'll be able to put in some darker areas on this, which will look kind of like the in between the ribbing. This initial layer that we're putting on is just going to be the highlight color for this. It looks like I didn't work quite fast enough on some of this. I got just that little tiny tide line right there, and I don't want that. We don't have quite as many people here today as we have normally. I wonder why that is. I don't think I've done anything. I'm going to say it's just summer. People are out doing stuff in the summer, spending time with their family, enjoying the sun or the warmth of the year. That's what I'm going to go with. All right, that's a lovely little color there. Right, you might look at that and go, that seems a little bright, or it seems a little something. I think it's going to be fine. I think we're going to be able to incorporate that right into everything else. I'm going to do a little bit on this fin down here too. Kenya is here. Susie is here. All right, now everybody's rolling in. We got everybody. I saw an artist add synthetic ox gall to her paint water. It made the paint flow very well. Have I ever tried ox gall? I have tried ox gall. I have some ox gall. And ox gall, for anybody who doesn't really know what ox gall, well, I don't know what it is. It's probably fluid from a gallbladder of an ox, just like it says, but it is a substance that seems to make your paint flow much more freely, and it does, or it can allow it allows your paint to stay wetter longer. It somehow prohibits either it soaking into the paper or it dehydrating and drying up. I have tried ox gall. I do have some ox gall. Quite honestly, I have never noticed much of a difference with it. But I will say I live in a pretty humid area of the country. We oftentimes have quite a bit of fog here, right? Not just in the summer, not just in the fall. It's pretty foggy here, so with the humidity that we have, I might not notice it nearly as much. as you would somewhere else. So, you know, my experience with it may not be the same as everybody else's. But yeah, ox gall makes things wetter, longer. If you want me to, I think I can grab some in a little pan. We might be able to try it out if you want to see it. I might try the ox gall for background. Oh yeah, right. Let me see. Give me 1 second. Let me see if I can find it. And a tray. So here's my ox gall. And let's try a test. This will be fun. Let me grab an old piece of paper. Well, give me a second. I'm gonna sort through a couple of old things here. All right, let's use that one. Let's move our fish out of the way. I wonder if synthetic ox gall works differently. It probably works slightly differently. It's probably mostly the same. It says, increases wetting and flow of watercolor, improves acceptance of wash on paper. Add a few drops to water, and then the rest is written in French. Can't move my seat. Okay, so let's... I haven't used this in a long time. But let's just see. I'm going to... Oh, it's got some chunks in there. Whoops. I'll do this. I'll tell you what, I'll do this on camera. I just put a little bit of ox gall right in there. And let's grab a color. Let's grab red here, right? Okay, cool. So let's do this. A little bit of red. Let's see how the flow with red goes. There's a nice soupy flow of it. Right, I can pull that all the way down. And I want to dip a little extra water in my ox gall. I'm going to get some on my brush, some paint on my brush. I'm going to dip it in here. That should really give us a try. A little more paint. All right, so now we should have plenty of ox gall on there. Let's see if it makes much of any difference. If I continue to go back into this, does it allow me to, or that's a good question. Would it let that flow? Oh, you know what? That's the back side of this paper. Oh, it's looking funny because it's the back side of the paper. Let me get a better sheet of paper. I got a whole bunch of sheets up here that, here we go. All right, here we go. This is a watermelon painting. Let's look at the back of this. Look at that. Look at that's all soaked in. It really looks terrible. All right, here we go. Let's do this. Here's some ox gall. This should allow us to really slather this around, right? So if we put some different color in here, it should really allow it to flow through. Let's see if it does that. And then, right, let's just get some regular water over here. Whoop, I still had some of that blue on my brush. Now let's put the ox gall away. Regular color, something roughly the same size, and I hope the same dampness. Okay, and let's see if this, whoops, I don't have much room on my desk here. I'm behind everything. So let's see if this will allow this to flow a little bit more, or we can see if this one is going to dry so much slower that it's noticeable more than this one over here. I don't know, I want to grab that a little bit for some reason. See what this flow looks like. I don't know. Oxgall's a weird thing. Like I said, I've tried it before. You're supposed to put, 3 or 4 drops in a cup of water, and it allows it to flow better. And I've never noticed it do much for me. But like I said, it's pretty humid here. So it's interesting that we have this up here though. Let's let this sit for a second and see what it does. I'm going to get back to this, which is mostly dry at this point. Mostly dry. I'm going to get a bit more of our green color here, which started out as phthalo green and a little bit of a cold green on here. It's Hansa yellow, which is our cold green that I'm using. I'm going to put into this a little bit of cerulean blue. There we go. And I'm putting a little bit of cerulean blue in here because I'm going to put this on the bottom, way on the bottom of this. And I'm going to try not to do it quite that thick. And this is going to be the shadowing on the bottom of this fish. Just on the bottom of it, but it's going to allow it, there we go, it's going to allow it to blend up a little bit, or I'm going to allow it to blend up a little bit, right? Hopefully this blue just gives it a little bit of shadow color, makes it look like, this fish has some dimensionality. It seems like I talk about dimensionality all the time. To me, it's so important that what we paint has good dimension to it. And then a lot of water to blend this down. So we certainly don't want a hard line here. Certainly don't want a hard line. I hope you can see what I'm doing. Now I got that paper on here. I got this paper on here. My desk is quickly getting filled up. It's quickly getting filled up. I mean, that's okay. All right, I'm going to push some of this blue back down. You can blend 2 ways, right? You can blend with the color or against the color, right? You can blend with the flow of water or against the flow of water, and depending upon how you do that is going to give you different control on the color as you're using it. Okay, so I just I blend it up that way, and then I want to make sure I push it back down this way a little bit. So I don't want that color just to continue to blend up and up and up and up and up. I want a little area of light here before I put in that kind of layer of brownish in there, if that makes sense. Oh, let's see. Kenya tried it, and it seemed like the color lost its vibrancy. That's interesting. Okay. So I use homemade watercolor additive gel. Uncle 60 says it's xanthan gum and Arabic gum based with a few other ingredients. It allows me to place light colors on top of darks. That's interesting. I've never heard of that. Yeah, Susie says, that's impressive. That is impressive. Mir Deep is here. Welcome. I'm glad you made it back. Kenny, did you use real or synthetic ox gall? It was synthetic. I don't know what mine is. But let's take a look at what it did here. And I guess it did make a little bit of a difference, didn't it? And they are about the same dampness. But this one we did have a little extra running in there, and it does look like there's some extra movement in here a little bit, even more than the second one we did. Yeah, there's a bit more life to that one, so maybe there is something to it. But I think I probably used it a little bit. I probably used it a bit more liberally than really what is recommended. I really kind of slathered it on there. All right, I'm going to paint the top of this fish a little bit more, and I want this to really pop off. So I'm going to use more of this green gold and more of our cold yellow here. And I'm going to do the same thing I did at the bottom. I'm going to do it right at the top. And I'm ignoring, right? I'm totally ignoring all the spots. I'm not worried about the spots. Just going to put a line here. Right on down along his tail. Completely ignoring those spots. The spots at this point, pretty irrelevant. Okay, cool. Just like that. And then I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to blend this out a little bit. And I want to blend this out until where I think the side of the fish is, right? It's got a flat-ish back, kind of square-ish sides. I want to find that area a little bit. Just want to find kind of where that's at and bring this paint out to it. And that might mean that I lose a little bit of this color back here. That's fine. If I extend this down. And so I'm hoping that I'm going to end up with a darker area. Yeah, okay, cool. A little darker area, a little lighter area. Right, this lighter area should come through, and then a little darker area at the bottom. And then we're going to come through with a mottled color through the middle, and that's going to help everything out. In theory, that's in theory how the whole thing's going to work. In practice, I have no idea. In practice, I have absolutely no idea how this is going to work, but we'll figure it out one way or another. I don't think I've mixed up too much of this purple because it's going to run into my yellow. All right, so I've got a little bit more of this purple, and I just want to, I'm just looking. I just want to use this to start to get a couple of lines in here. Maybe I should do it backwards this way. And if it looks like it's a bit much, like it's a bit too strong, just come back in, really light water on your brush, and just soften that right down. Just really, you can just soften it almost as much as you want. You're just going to end up pulling a little bit of that color off the top of it. Right, and I think I want to blend a little bit of this color right into that. It looks to me, that reference photo looks to me like there's just some of this yellow that runs right up through that fin. There you go. There we go. Right, it's not much. Let me hold it up so you can see. It's not much. There's just a little bit there. It's not that much. Just enough to make a point. All right. Let's see. We've got half a dozen people or so here watching on YouTube and a few more on Twitch. Anybody who has any questions, be sure you throw them out there. And if you would, anybody who's, I guess this would pertain to both sides. If you'd be so nice, anybody who's here, reach out and hit that like button if you haven't done that yet. Would help me out with both algorithms, really, on YouTube and on Twitch. Help me reach a little bit bigger of an audience. Would greatly appreciate that. And then these lines just kind of radiate out like this. A lot of them out here. These actually go almost all the way to touching that tail, almost all the way. Something like that. I don't want to soften that yet. I think that's just a bit too damp to soften that up a little bit. Okay, let's see. What do we need to do? We dry? A little bit dry. So we need to find a darker color that's going to come across in the center here, right? Something still yellow based. Let's move our fish off to the side and let's get our paper, practice paper back. And let's see if a yellow and a burnt umber is going to work for us. That's actually not a bad color right there. Look at that. Whoops. I'm doing it off camera. Burnt umber, a little bit of yellow. Gives us a nice dark-ish. I'd say it's kind of like a banana skin color. Yova is here. It says, good evening, Michael and everyone. Can you show us some of your favorite brushes? I can. I can. Yeah. I'm looking over to see where I have no brushes on my desktop except for these few that I use. I'm looking to see where my other ones are at. Yeah, give me 1 second. I'll grab some of my old brushes or some of my favorite brushes. Come on, cable, come out of there. All right. How much time do we have? Let's move this. Okay, so these are the brushes that I currently use all the time. These are King Art brushes, and these are a synthetic hair brush, right? Golden Taklon brush. I couldn't tell you why I like them. I expected that they were going to be not the greatest brush in the world, but they've turned out to be a little bit more than I expected. But if we're talking about some of the other brushes that I really like, I bought these Da Vinci Casaneo brushes, and I have a number of them. They came in a pack. Here's one, and I think there's one more somewhere. Oh, right there. And I really like these. Wonderful soft bristles on these. Hold a ton of water. Liza's here. Hello, Liza. They hold a ton of water. In addition, they have a triangle handle that you can hold on to. It really makes it easy to hold on to. I love these, but they don't come to a fine point. They're not a pointed round brush. They're kind of a dull round brush. But if I do a looser style of painting, these are my detail brushes. Okay, I've got these. Whoops. Then this is a Da Vinci, and this one should be a Da Vinci one too, I believe, or this one. Nope. Yep, these are both Da Vinci squirrel mop brushes, and these are absolutely fantastic. In fact, I should work these back into everything. I love these. I've used this so often that the collar has stained, the wood has cracked. There's paint inside there. These used to be much more pointed, and I've kind of used them so much that the point has been worn off on these. But I love these brushes. And these started me on a journey of other mop brushes. And you can see I've got a whole slew of them. Well, I've got some more down there that I can pick up if we need to. This one in particular, I like. This is a completely vegan brush. What they say. This is a Raphael soft aqua brush. And the bristles it's a synthetic bristle, but the bristles are super, super soft. Holds a ton of water. Again, as long as you're not doing detail, this is a fantastic brush. The only thing I don't like so much about this is the handle is completely plastic and it's super light, and it just feels a little different in your hand than one of these other ones. But I love those. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Now let me set that down for a second. Let me get out some other brushes. Let's see. Where do I want to start with these? Well, just let me. So you'll notice a theme of the brushes that I have here. All right, I have a few mop brushes. Whoop, not that one. Oh, there's another Da Vinci mop brush. Let's see. I've got some bigger mop brush. Well, I'm not even on camera. I've got some bigger mop brushes. I've got some more mop brushes. I've got some more mop brushes. I've got some more. I like mop brushes. These red ones, all the ones that you see that have this red handle. Here's one. Here's one. These are Transom brushes. I don't have any affinity for the Transom art company, but they make a pretty good brush that's pretty cheap, and so I bought a set of those, and I think I got like every size from 2 to 10 and probably a few in between there. This one is probably Michelle says I love lots of brushes. This one is, I have 3 of these. This one, and this one. These are all Danube brushes that I bought from, and there's one that's in between these. I bought these from Cheap Joe's, and I used them. Whoops, let me come down with it a little bit. I used them for about, I don't know, a month, and the ends all curled over, and super disappointed. I paid $70 for the set of them, or $80 for the set of them. Super disappointed. That kind of stopped me buying anything from Cheap Joe's ever again. This one is an interesting one. It's a mop brush. It's a synthetic hair, but there's no crimping on it. It's just glued in place. This is a Rubloff brush. At one point in time, I did some work with the Rubloff Brush Company, and they sent me some samples of all of their stuff. Really like this. I have a smaller one of these too, the same thing. Very nice brush. I have no problems with them other than the fact that I think they didn't always come to a point when you used it. This one, oh yeah, here's my other Rubloff one that looks the same. Whoop, there you go, just smaller. This one I like, but I don't like it in this size. This is an Art Secret brush. I bought this brush at the same time I bought, where are my other ones that I bought? Anyways, I bought some other mop brushes at the same time. I worked with the company for a little bit and did some work. Anyway, this is squirrel hair and horsehair combined on this one, and this is a size 6. I don't like it. Look, it looks puffy, right? And I don't like it at this size. But the smaller ones, this is size 6, the size 4, the size 2, the size 1 that they sent me, I absolutely love. And they're in a travel kit that I use all the time. And it's a very hard wearing brush, as you would suspect with the horsehair. Let's see. Here's some more Rubloff brushes. Another scent. These are Bylek brushes. Some of these are Bylek brushes. Yep. And they sent me a whole host of these. I tested them out. They're okay. They're a kind of a mid-range brush. I have a whole set of these, which are the Princeton Neptune brushes. Lois the Pondfish uses these. He very much likes them. Right? I've got ones from Very Large. This is an 8, a 6. There's a 4 around here somewhere. I like those very much. What I don't like is that Neptune series in just a regular round brush. I don't like these nearly as much. They're a little coarse for me, but they are very soft and they do hold a ton of water. And I think all of those are synthetic hair brushes. Whoa, if I come over here, these are my Maritini brushes, and there's another couple in here somewhere. And I like these very much. Is this one of them? Nope, that's not. I like these very much. Again, if they had come to a little sharper point for me, I'd probably still be using them, but I love these squirrel hair brushes. And a little stiffer squirrel hair than you get on some of the normal mop brushes. When I started watercolor painting, when I started watercolor painting, I bought all of these Winsor Newton University brushes, all different sizes and styles and everything like those. And I used these almost exclusively as I was learning to paint years and years and years ago. And I've gotten rid of probably more brushes than I have, but I just can't get rid of these because they hold a special place for me. What else do we have here? I've got some big Sumi brushes. I've got some smaller ones too. They're in a pack mostly by themselves. Here's another large one. These are goat hair. And they're fine for what they do. Oh, here's another one. Again, goat hair. They're nice. I see lots of people using these all the time to do all of their paintings with, and I was like, I'm going to try that. I don't know if I could do that, but they're nice brushes. What else do I have in here? Oh, here's one of those Art Secret brushes right here. I like this. This is a size 2. You can see it's much smaller than the other one, wherever the big puffy one went to. I don't know where it went to, but you can see this is so much smaller. It's so much nicer, and it still holds a ton of water. Grabby makes a pretty good affordable mop brush too, also available on Amazon. Um, I don't know if I've had a grabby brush. I don't know if I have one now or not. I did used to buy a lot of Princeton brushes. Princeton. This is a Princeton Select brush. These are nice. I feel like I kind of outgrew those though. Michael, have you tried to refurbish brushes with hot water and gum arabic? I have. This brush that I have, everybody has seen. This is my Winsor Newton Series 7. This is a $100 paintbrush that does not come to a point. I've tried to refurbish this and I can't get it to work. And so disappointing. I did some work with Zen Art at one point in time. I got a lot of brushes from them, and they're as full synthetic brush, and I wouldn't recommend them to anybody at this point in time. And I know there was another one or two in here I wanted to pull out if you were going to ask me about my brushes. It's another Princeton. Oh, and I've got a lot of other brushes like this. These are Grumbacher or Cotman brushes. I've got a bunch of snap brushes in here. Snap brushes, for what they are, I think they're fantastic. Kenny says you use conditioner to refurbish you. I am Gnome is here. Princeton is the nicest kind of brush I've had. There you go. If they work for you, that's fantastic. Let's see. I use condition. Zen has a soft scrubber like too. Let's see. Zen brush. I think I have an actual Zen brush in here. Not to be confused with Zen Art, right? That's Zen Art. Zen brush is one that's in kind of a metallic kind of a thing. Oh, I know I have one here. It's a giant dagger or something. Right here. There you go. There's a Zen brush. Silver. Just a nice dagger brush. Again, nice brush. I don't have anything against it. I don't use a dagger all that much, but nice brush. A long time ago, I bought these, which are AIT brushes. I don't know anything about them. Oh, here's the one I wanted to show you. Oh yeah, it's with all my other Princeton brushes. Nice brush. This is Sable brush, and it was cheap. I don't have any good or bad to say about it. I tried at one point to do a lot of to get away from natural hair brushes, and so I tried this Elite Princeton Round Elite because I've been using these Princeton Neptune ones, when I bought this I had been, and I was like, oh, this will be the next step up, and this is another one that curled on me, and then I don't really try to condition my brushes, but I will take like a nail clipper and try to clip them back into shape, and so you'll see a brush or two of mine like this one that has a weird shape to the tip of it where I've fanned it out and tried to cut it, and it didn't work all that well, so I don't know. Anyway, those are some of my brushes. I've got more. I've got a drawer over there with a bunch of stuff in it. Ugh. Oh, I've got some of these Hake brushes. This one I haven't used, or maybe, yeah, it doesn't look like I've used it. My other one I have used quite a bit, just to practice with. I don't know. It would be fun to see you try to use brushes you are unfamiliar with. Let's experiment. I will. I'm open to it at some point. I don't have a problem with trying to experiment. I think if you do experiments like that, you learn a great deal about yourself as a painter and about the feel. You know, one of the things I like to think about when I paint is, you know, why is my style the way my style is? Well, it's because that's the way my body or my brain or whatever tells me that I should be painting. And you can adjust that a little bit with practice, just with the same brushes you use, and try to do things a bit differently. Or, right, the other thing is you can just grab a different brush and try to paint with a different brush a different way, and oftentimes that will lead to you learning to paint in a different style or something like that, right? That's kind of the theory from the book, painting on the drawing on the right side of the brain, drawing on the left side of the brain. Does anybody know what that book is? I'm not making it up. It's a pretty famous book about learning to draw. And one of the things that they do in there is they say, don't draw with your normal tools, and don't draw with your paper sitting the way your paper always sits. Challenge yourself to do it a little bit differently. Think about different ways that you could approach things. And to this day, if I really want to do a drawing and I really want to know that I'm going to do a good job with the drawing, it's, maybe a little bit more complex or whatnot, I don't use a pencil to draw with. Well, I do use a pencil, but I don't use a normal pencil to draw with. I use a builder's pencil or a roofer's pencil. And I think that it helps me not to feel the pencil the same way. And because I don't feel the pencil the same way, I think that it doesn't register in my brain the same way, and I can do a better painting. Right, I've got a whole drawer full of those roofer's pencils over here, because when I really want to do a drawing, that's what I do. Natalie's here. Hello, Natalie. Drawing on the right side of the brain. That's it. Susie says, Dwayne, I've decided loose painting is overrated. I Am Gnome says, I put some conditioner on cheaper brushes to see if it works. I'll try them, and I'll try it on my Princeton. Okay, cool. Let us know if conditioning the brushes work well. I don't have any idea how well it's going to work, but I'm curious to know. I really am curious to know if it's going to work, or how well it works, or maybe it doesn't work at all. I don't have any idea. Okay, I want to get some color on here, and this is going to go under this guy's eye. I want to make sure it's under his eye here, and then I'm going to spread this out just like we did on the other one. And it looks like we might need to put a little bit more dark underneath this fish, right on his bottom side there. That's okay, we can do that. But we got some cool colors going on with this now. Some really neat colors. And it might even be a little bit more than I thought we were going to have on here. But if somebody, you hang this in your office, this is always the way I think of things. Or recently anyway, this is how I think of things. If I hang this in my office and somebody walks past and sees this and they want to take a look at it, cool, what are they going to see, or what are they going to say about it? So we've got this painting. It just looks yellow and green right now. But if somebody were to come up and take a look at this right up close, they'd go, holy cow, there's all kinds of colors going on in that. There's a lot of different things going on. And when you get to that point, it really makes me happy. Let's see. Susie says, I like long, pointed, round brushes and round Princeton Elites. If I'm filling in larger areas. Okay, cool. I just want something that's gonna if I'm filling in a large area, I want something that's going to fill in a large area. I'm going to grab a big brush, right? This is only a size 6, but whatever. This is a golden maple one, and this holds a lot of water. It can fill in a lot of space. If I'm not trying to fill in a lot of space, I'm happy to just use a much smaller amount of or a much smaller brush, and just, you know, see what it does. I want to get a little bit more color on this tail back here. A little bit more color, and we're going to come back in. All right, a little bit more color. That's standing out. Standing out. It's actually, I think, standing out quite nicely. I'm going to paint this, that same purplish color. Oh, I know. I do have something to tell you all. I do have something to tell you all. And so, Sunday? It must have been Sunday night. My wife and I were sitting in the backyard, and she went, "Have you looked at Blueberry lately?" Right? Everybody knows Blueberry's one of the old girls. "Have you looked at Blueberry lately?" Yeah, I guess. No, I don't know. I haven't looked at Blueberry lately. She doesn't look good. Oh, no. Oh, Liza says, "Does anybody have a cat's tongue?" I have a cat's tongue. Liza, somewhere. I have a cat's tongue. I never use it. I should have another one down there somewhere too. Nope. But yeah, I don't know. Liza, that's a great question. I don't never use a cat's tongue. I don't have any idea. Anyways, so my wife was like, "I don't think she's doing well." I picked her up. Poor old girl. I picked her up, and she either had an impacted crop, or she had a sour crop. I guess it doesn't really matter either way. It's just her crop was swollen, right? It looked terrible. I'm like, "Blue, you can't." Liza says, "Of course you do." You can't be getting sick. We already lost one chicken this year. We're not allowed to lose a second chicken, so you have to be okay. I feel like I can't move my chair all of a sudden. I might have to redo my carpet down here. And so, anyways, many trips to the farm supply store later, and we got some. I don't know what it's called. It's like a super vitamin formula that you spray into their mouth, which is a whole feat, believe me. And it's supposed to, if it's sauerkraut, it's supposed to help alleviate it. And if it's not sauerkraut, it's just good stuff for your bird. Well, we sprayed that on her, or in her. We held her after she pooped on me. Got a little scared and pooped on me, which is fine. I probably deserved it for trying to force her to eat some of this stuff. In 3 days' time, she seems to have gotten better. So happy. She seems to have gotten better, and is now out playing with the rest of the chicks already, but for a few short minutes it was a bit harrowing with her. Yes, good news. Good news. Anytime the chicks are still alive, it's good news. The new babies are completely out of control. They are. It's so fun to watch. it's fun to watch babies of any species, right? Whether it be human or chicken or anything else. It's just always fun to watch. But man, when they hear you come home from, or when they hear me, I guess I should say, come home from work, boy, they jump and they run and they fly and they just are just beside themselves to come over and see you. It's so much fun. They literally will fly, jump and fly, or try to fly to get to you, so much so that they will often get onto the sidewalk and can't stop, and then they're spinning their feet to try to stop and everything. Oh, Tracy's here. Hello, Tracy. Welcome back. I'm glad you survived Prime Day. To me, that sounds like a nightmare. The chicks love me. The chicks love me because I give them so many treats. I try to fatten them up with treats. But they're so sweet. They're so cute. And little Frida, when you pick her up, she's a little hard to get a hold of. She doesn't like to be picked up a whole lot, but when you do pick her up, oh, she just kind of falls asleep in your arms, like just. It's so sweet. So sweet. Let's see. Oh, Tracy says she did survive Prime Day, thankfully. All right. Let's see. Got some good color going on this guy or this girl. I'm not sure which. Not sure how you tell on a puffer fish. I'm not sure how you tell on most fishes. I like we have now a nice dark area underneath there. Right? Is that the right way to do this? I don't have any idea. And you all know I don't worry about let's put it in air quotes, the right way to do all of this is. I don't have any idea, but this to me seems like a way to do it. It seems like as good a way to do it as any, so we're going to do it this way. And I'm rapidly moving into really just getting some good details in here. All right, we're to the part where we put on all the base colors. What we want to do is get some really cool colors on here and really start defining this fish. Right? Making all parts of this fish pop out as much as we can. And yeah, it looks like it's swimming in the water now, kind of. We're going to make that look even more so like that coming up when we fix our background a little bit, but it already does a little bit. Get some dark underneath here. Make that fin stand out a little bit. And I think you all know my theory on some of this. It doesn't matter if I'm using the right color, right? It's another thing I want to throw in air quotes, the right color. I don't know what the right color for this is. All I know is we got to put a color on here. We need to make it look like a good color on here. Let's see. I am Gnome says, Eliza says, I'm waiting for the eye. I am Gnome says, I love pufferfish. They always look like they have no Thoughts beyond the beady eyes. Oh, they're cute. I don't know about that, but they're cute. They just look cute. Let's see. This one I can do. Yeah, something like that. I'm just trying to work my way around here and make sure my lines are all relatively right. Right, he's going to have a bit stronger of a color on these fins than not, but I'm fine with it. I'm totally fine with it. I've got to decide what I want to do over here. Let me get some of this extra color in here. Well, I'm glad everybody showed up tonight. I was worried for a little while earlier. Oh, Beverly is here. Welcome back, Beverly. I was a little worried earlier today. It was just going to be Dwayne and I. So I'm glad the rest of everybody showed up. Not that I'm not happy to sit here and talk with Dwayne. We'd have done this, but the conversation would have been a lot different. Let's see. I have known I'm trying to use some of that late night motivation to clean the house, but I'm getting quite sleepy. Yeah, the house will be there tomorrow. That's what I tell my wife. Yeah, the house will be here tomorrow. We can clean it tomorrow. It doesn't work. That doesn't work. That's not a good thing to say. Don't say that. That'll just get you in trouble. Yeah, it's late. I realize that painting late at night for a lot of the country, I start at 7 o'clock Pacific where I'm at. That means 10 o'clock Eastern. My colors are not mixing right. That's late. I get it. I didn't pick it because of anything other than it was at the time I picked it, it was a convenient time for me to do it. So for those of you that it's getting too late, I apologize. I do realize it's a late stream for some. But like I said, it worked out for me when I started, and now it's kind of just worked into a thing, and everybody here at home base knows that's when it's going to happen, and we all kind of watch out for that. So there we go. I can probably live with that fin. I'm not wild about the fin. Not wild about it, but I can live with it. I like this. The spots are going to help a lot. It looks a little odd right now. The spots are really going to help. I think what I need to do is give me some of this. Let me mix some of this neutral tint. Give me a much smaller brush. Neutral tint in with my purple here. Right, and I want to use some of this. Give me a nice soupy mix here. On this eye. Trying to paint a circle for me is not always the most enjoyable thing. Sometimes I win and sometimes the circle wins. All right. can kind of live with that. And now I want to just pull, if I can, pull some of that color in just a bit. There we go. I didn't want that eye to be super white. The whiteness was starting to bother me a little bit. Steph says, pufferfish are kind of odd looking anyways. Thank you. Go to the eye. I'll get to the eye. Sherry says, I'm in the same time zone, but always in the middle of supper. Yes. I'd use a pen. Oh, I could have used a pen. Yeah. The only problem with using a pen to do round stuff like that, I don't really have a problem with it, but I always feel like the pen, the color of the pen is so much different than the color of paint, and it bugs me. I do it from time to time, and then I'll put it on and try to like throw a layer of paint over it to kind of dull it down a little bit. It always just seems a bit, I don't know, odd. But while we're waiting for our eye to get done, we can come in. This is lamp black that I have here. I believe it's lamp black. And I don't want to get it super thick, right? Because lamp black can totally take over whatever you're doing. But we can paint some of these dots on this guy. I think the few dots here and there are really going to help bring this together, because when you see a pufferfish, he's got all these spots on him, and that's how you recognize the fish as a pufferfish. And the other thing is, once you start layering on a few more details like these, then it kind of does take your eye a little bit away from those things that maybe aren't quite as right as you had wanted them to be, right? Some of those areas that didn't quite turn out on paper like you wanted them to turn out, or as though you saw them in your head. Well, adding some detail like this is really going to help take the viewer's eye away from that a little bit, give you some relief from that. Oh, yeah. See? Already it's starting to look a little better. Black is just such a strong color. It's such a strong... Black has such an opportunity just to take over whatever you're doing. I like lamp black better than... Liza, I like lamp black better than any green. Oh, come on. Greens are your friend. Liza, greens love you. I know you don't love greens, but greens love you. I know they do. Pufferfish. He's getting there. Now, I didn't say anything about it tonight, but I did actually pull up the Wikipedia page for pufferfish. If we were going to have a fast facts about them, I was going to be ready for it this time. But we didn't even do it. But I did realize in reading through the Wikipedia page, I didn't realize that pufferfish were both fresh and saltwater. Oh, Sherry, Viridian green is your favorite green. Oh, Viridian is my least favorite green. That's all right. I think we can still be friends. Oh, I'm a phthalo green guy. Love some phthalo green. Boop. Let's see. Well, I ask everyone, is summer flying by for you? Yes. Yes. For me, I'm shocked that it's August already. Well, it will be by the end of the week. It feels like we just got into June, and now all of a sudden we're saying goodbye to July already. It's unbelievable that it would fly by that quickly. I don't know why this summer needs to go by that fast. It seems a little selfish for summer to speed by like that. I think summer should just slow down a little bit, relax, give us all an extra week. I think we could all agree an extra week would be pretty awesome. I turned you on to Viridian. No. I love phthalo blue. There you go. I love phthalo blue too. Kenya, you like undersea green. Undersea green, that's a Daniel Smith color. Is that correct? Let's see. Natalie says, where I live, the kids went back to school 2 weeks ago. Oh my Lord. Really? No, please say that's not true. Back to school 2 weeks ago? That can't be. That cannot be. That's way too soon. 2 weeks ago. No. Okay. I'm mixing up a little extra color here. And what I'm going to try to do is do a few areas here where there's a little darker of that color and a few areas where there's a little lighter of that color. And we'll see if having, actually we could do a little bit more blue in some areas. We could do a little bit, in addition to having a little bit lighter and a little bit darker, we can, right, we can make some different colors all together here. I think, right, if I'm looking at the reference photo when I look up on those rare opportunities when I do look up, looking at those reference photos, and it does seem as though that dark background might help out a bit, right? We've got these bright colors here, and having a bit of a darker background really might help to sink this in a little bit. Did my color keeps running out of my palette. I don't like that. Stop doing that. It's running all down the side and making a pool down at the bottom, and I don't want a pool down there. I don't want it to pool down there. Let's bring that color up. Let's get in here. Let's get some nice color in there. Shoo. Let's be brave with some of this blue in there. There we go. be a little brave with some of these colors. And then we got to get back to more purplish. And this is where I do like this big brush. As long as I keep this part over here wet, this big brush will really just keep water flowing right off of there. Just fill up that page with some of that nice color. I don't know, did our new background, a little bit darker background, make this stand out a little bit more? I think so. I think it did. Let me push some of this color a little bit that way. I feel like I got a really dark set right there. I mean, that's okay, right? That's kind of how it goes. It should, this color should, because there's a bit of purple in it, it should make this just jump right off the page that little bit. Should make it just jump right off of here a little bit. We're still a little bit wet down here. We'll get a little bit of green in down here. All right, I can live with that. Uh-oh. Everything just blipped. Wow, I'm looking at this, and other than this section here, it really did make this pop off the page. I'm just doing a little bit to cover up a mistake up here. I'm going to pull that up and around a little bit. Maybe there's a big figure or something over here. Now, see, now I'm not liking it nearly as much. Now it seems unbalanced. Now I'm chasing it. I got that. I didn't pre-wet it. I got a tide line, and now I feel like I'm chasing everything here. It's all right. It's all right. Let's connect the space. Let's pull this out just a little bit. And we'll just I think it'll be fine. I think it'll be fine. Oh, that's okay. That'll be okay. But it really did. Yeah, I don't like that. I don't like that I had to put that extra color on there. I Am Gnome says, oh man, you guys are still talking about Viridian and and Phthalo. What are you saying? Let's see. Yep. Oh my God. Oh yeah. Liza says, yep, be brave. Love the purple. The purple is so cool because even though we have a little bit of purple on here, it just pushes the whole fish out. And looking at it now, I mean, it looked right when we started. I could have made the whole dark bottom here even darker and the whole top a little different. That dark background really seems to make it whole washed out. It really does. Viridian is a great mixer. Beautiful color, but always found it a bit... Viridian is a beautiful color, but I always found it a bit too cold for mixing. Yeah, it's... Oh, Susan says you like the background now. Viridian is cold. My problem with Viridian is that it's too hard. It's too light. It's not... Even super pigmented Viridian just doesn't seem to be... It doesn't seem to be as strong a color as I ever really want it to be. And it makes me sad because it can be a really cool color. All right, so now we've got all of this on here, right? So now we have the opportunity to fix some of this. And the question is, how much of this do we want to fix? Where's my bigger brush? Right there. How much of this do we want to fix? Maybe a little bit of blue in here. All right, so the question is, do I want to be brave? Ooh, I like that color. Do I want to be brave and on the bottom here, just make the whole thing darker, just like a wash down here? I guess the question I should have asked myself is, can I do this without touching the background? And I might have to do this in a couple of stages. And the other question is, if we do this, is it going to make a whole lot of difference? And the answer is it might. It might make just enough. It might make just enough difference. Okay. Now we can pull this up a little bit. Blend to our heart's content. I think part of the problem I'm seeing in this, part of the problem I'm having with this is I look at this fish and the fish is flat. The fish right? Here, the whole fish is really a flat-ish fish. Side to side, there's not a whole lot there. Ooh, that's way too... Right, what I mean by that is we can come back and tighten up some of this. What I mean by that is the sides of this fish don't have enough... They don't have enough going on, right? It's kind of a box fish. There's not... There's no undulation in the sides of this fish. And I didn't think about that when I was doing it before. I got caught up in all the colors. And I think... All right, so we've got a little bit to fix on the spots here. We can get those. Not really worried about those. We can get that in just a second. And I'm not really sure if that really even fixed what I was looking at. It might have. We'll have to see here in just a second. I did go just overboard right there. Cool, I got that off. Oh. right? So the fish is basically a box, and I wish it were seemingly rounder or looked rounder. Oh, I don't know. I don't know. Oh, just that little bit on his eye really helped. Let's get a little bit. Let's do a little bit here. Okay, apparently Viridian gets its name from an old Latin word, viridis, which means green, blooming, and vigorous. Interesting. Susie says Viridian is an older paint. It was used before they found newer pigments. Well, that is true. Viridian has been around for half of forever. Yeah, that was one of the paints that the old watercolor artists, right? Looking back to when the British Army used to send watercolor artists out to the battlefield to do recreations of what it looked like so that people would know when they went to do battle what they were getting into. Viridian was one of the original colors that they would take with them to do that. All right, we got to fix a little black here. Oh, we can't do it quite yet. Oh, patience. It'll only take 3 minutes. And you'll be able to get in there and do anything you want. It's at 3 minutes that I don't want to wait for. I like him. Our camera view, the fish looks very shapely, not flat. Okay, cool. What brand white pen did you use? That's a great question. This is my Sino. This is a Uniball Sino brand. Is that Uniball? Yeah, Uniball Sino, and it's just white. Right, it says Uniball right there too, Uniball. And where's the stuff I worked on earlier? Ugh. Let me move you up, Mr. Fish. And it's fantastic. Oh, it's got some paint on it because it goes on pretty well. Sometimes you got to go over a couple of times to really get the whiteness that you want. But if you don't push hard, sometimes if you push hard, you get like a line in the center where the actual ball is. If you see on the bottom one down here, will it focus there? You can kind of see a line in the center. But if you're careful, you can get some really nice opaque white lines in there. And as long as you don't, there it goes. As long as you don't put it on wet paint and clog up that ball, it works really well. And for simple highlights like that, it's fantastic. You can't beat it. I mean, you probably could, but it's so simple, so easy. Oh, what? Some of it's still wet. It's dry back here. Dry-ish. See if we get this in there. All right, some of these are a little odd. Let's see. Beverly says, I'm not having good luck with my jelly roll. I heard Sino was good. I've had Jelly Roll, and I've had trouble with them. I have two over there because neither of them work right. And honestly, the Sino is better. I don't know that it's going to solve all your problems, but it's better. All right, I think we fixed our black mistakes there. Not mistakes. Fix the areas that we needed to have refresh those dots. So there we go. I like him. I'm not in love with him, but I like him. I'm going to sign right there. It's fun to paint. It's a little difficult. I will admit maybe that yellow isn't my best color to work with, but I do like him. Natalie says, looks good, thank you. I Am Gnome says, I prefer to use white acrylic at this point for little highlights. I can't even pick it up. Yeah, sometimes I'll just use the gouache, my white gouache. Depends. If I have a little bit more to do, I might use the white gouache. If I'm just doing that little bit on the eye, yeah, the pen probably works out just as well as anything. I don't know. Let's see. Dwayne says awesome and good challenges. Nyla says good. Looks gold. Gold looks good. Okay, good. I don't know. Not my best. I don't know where and honestly, I have my reference photo over here. I know yours is over there. Mine's over here, and I'm looking at it, and I don't see any big areas where I think I didn't do anything right. I guess I could have brought this green up further. If I'm looking at it, this green comes up like mid-lip and goes all the way over. Or maybe I should have taken it up to there and then gone up further and then put the brown on top. I don't know. It's tricky. I thought I was going to be able to do this, and I thought it was going to work out great. And after we got that first layer of yellow on there, I went, well, this one's going to be tough. But that's okay. That's all right. Maybe this one won't be in the Louvre, but I don't think it looks bad. I think it looks good. I think it achieved what we wanted to do. You look at it, you definitely know it's a puffer fish. It pops off the page. It's a stylized puffer fish. I don't know. I like it. But more than that, I'm glad you guys were able to stop by with me tonight and watch me paint this. Next week, we're going to start in on pets and fur and hair and all of that kind of stuff. Los the Podfish inspired me to give it a try again. So we'll do a month of pets, whatnot. That'll be the challenge. We'll do a pet challenge next month. You'll probably get to see plenty of pictures of my chickens. Maybe I'll do 4 weeks of chickens. I don't know. But we'll figure it all out. I'll put it in Discord, so you'll see it beforehand. You'll have my reference photo that I'll use over there. Thank you all for joining me this Wednesday. This is a great way for me to end my Wednesday. I hope it was for you too. I want to say thank you all for coming. I hope you have a great rest of your evening. I hope you have a great rest of your week. And I hope you're able to join me back here again next week when we do this all over again. Until then, bye-bye.